We got our first look at your Michigan State Spartans last night, Carr. 75-66 was the exhibition victory over Bowling Green. Some very good things from Cohen Carr, Jackson Kohler, Jeremy Fears in this game. Also, we got a lot of new faces involved. The freshman, Jordan Scott, Cam Ward, both got some opportunities off the bench. Jesse McCulloch in his first real extended action. Trey Fort, Divine Ugachukwu as well. The transfers that are making their way to East Lansing this year. So it's exhibition season. Like we always say, you can't take too much from anything here. But 1-0 through the exhibition season. Michigan State victorious in their first game. What'd you learn last night?
I mean, look, it's obviously, as we like to say, against a team like Bowling Green, it's hard for either way to take things like very, very extremely positive or very, very extremely negative. I think there are some things that you see during this game that, did make me feel good. Also, some things that kind of, I think, accentuated some questions that I have about this team as far as like half court offense. There was also some questions that I saw during this game that we'll bring up as we're talking about this as well that I didn't necessarily think I was going to come away with. But um, like I said, some positives, some negatives. We won. I'll take that. Now, was this a little bit too close for my liking against a Bowling Green? Yeah. But I got a spin zone in my head that this was a respectful move to associate head coach Tum Tum Nairn. We don't want him to feel uncomfortable and embarrassed in the Breslin Center, so we made sure we kept it just a wee bit close and just pulled away at the end a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Cohen Carr was probably the story, right? That's probably the best thing that came out of this game for you.
I think I think it's Cohen, also minutes.
Yeah.
Minutes meant something to me.
Yeah, should we start there?
Yeah, we saw something that we have not seen in a very long time.
I tweeted about it, and I feel like at first glance, people thought I was like implying it's a bad thing. Cohen Carr played 31 minutes. Jeremy Fears played 31 minutes in an exhibition win over Bowling Green that you won by 9 points. Some people could interpret any commentary on minutes from this being like, damn, you needed 31 minutes from your best two players to get through an exhibition game. That's probably not great. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I hear people saying that. Fine, whatever. That's not my point. This is the first time in like years that I feel like in October, not even November, Tom Izzo's playing his best players the amount they should be playing.
Mhm.
That's awesome. I hope this translates. I don't see why it wouldn't. I can't imagine he's going to play Cohen and Jeremy 31 minutes in an exhibition and then play them less in the season.
Hmm.
That doesn't seem likely. So unless he just went completely brain dead and didn't even realize he was doing this. But after the game, he was asked about the rotations and he was like, "Hey, I'm happy with what it looks like tonight. The only guy who I think needed more minutes was Jordan Scott." So I don't think any more from Jordan Scott's minutes are coming from Fears or Cohen. I think the plan this year is for Tom Izzo to play his two best players, Jeremy Fears and Cohen Carr, at minimum 30 minutes a game. Now, I think that means a couple different things. Number one, that's good, absolutely good. You would be better the more you play your best players, the earlier you do it. Number two, I think there is going to be an adjustment curve for both those guys individually. As good as their numbers were in this game, and Fears hit two threes, Cohen had 4 assists, 5 blocks. He was everywhere. Um, Also thought there were moments in this game where like fatigue slash just not being used to playing that much caught up to him.
Hmm.
And I kind of want to talk about some things with Cohen defensively before we wrap this video because
I feel like that's the thing about last year, and you and I talked about this, I think, when people like asked us about like why Michigan State was able to do the things they did last year. And I think I don't want to misquote you on this, but you were like, I mean, it got to the last 10 to 8 minutes of the game, and everyone on the floor was like not tired, basically, and they kind of just like willed, grinded their way to games. Um, I do think that there was, I mean, honestly, the defense as a whole, we can talk about it like individual players. I thought there was a lot of defensive lapses in this game where Bowling Green was able to get their opportunities. I also think that, we played last year we looked at what Michigan State was able to do against especially lower level competition like this. for most part of this game, Bowling Green out rebounded Michigan State. They had just as many offensive rebounds as Michigan State in this game. That's not the defend, rebound, and run mentality that Michigan State usually has. And
They did
even
out rebound them in total too.
did they end up out rebounding them?
42 to 41 was the total rebounding number. Izzo
Which
did
is a
mention it.
crazy thing for a Tom Izzo team to be out rebounded by Bowling Green. That's definitely a thing, especially given Bowling Green's personnel too at the on the same token. But even with Cohen specifically, because you and I talked about this during the game, I feel like the blocks are great. I think they mask some of the other individual defensive things that happen with him as well. Like when it's time to help side block or chase someone down, it's like 100% full speed. I think individually as a defender, there were moments when Cohen was lackadaisical is like a bad word, but it was lackadaisical. It was kind of like stand up, take a breath, so
Yeah.
I can run as fast as I can to the other side of the court to get in transition.
It would be easy to use the word lackadaisical or like even lazy to describe what I think we see when he has defensive issues. I don't think those are the right words. I don't think there's
Mhm.
anything about Cohen Carr that is necessarily lazy, but it's like he has some lapses, I would say, and or just gets a little bit disengaged at times. Now,
Mhm.
again, I think this is a difficult transition that both him and Fears are going to go through, and it's good we're starting this early instead of trying to flip it on in February for these guys. It's a totally different assignment. I know you know this from your playing career. It's a totally different assignment to play 30, 35 minutes a game and be on the court the entire game versus knowing you're going to play 20 minutes and that's it.
Yeah.
When you play 20 minutes, you can come in and kind of do it 4 minute bursts and like I'm
Mhm.
giving everything I got and then I'm out and then I have somebody pushing me. I better make these minutes felt. Versus if you know you're going to get 30 no matter what, number one, you might get a little bit gassed. Number two, you don't feel the pressure of like needing to bust your ass every single second because you know you're not going to be taken out. So I think that's something they're both going to have to transition through a little bit. I thought by and large, both those guys were great. And the early impression from a Cohen Carr, Jeremy Fears led team with, Jackson Kohler obviously mixed in, the production you got from these three guys, offensively especially, is enough to be awesome this year. I mean,
Right. I mean, you look at most of the stats, those guys, points, minutes, rebounds, assists,
yeah,
blocks, like it was coming from those three.
and it needs to, and I think they held up their end of the bargain. But I agree with you, defensively especially. Like let's just talk the whole team, and then I do
Mhm.
think Cohen was a big part of it. You just got beat off the dribble the whole game.
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy offensively from Bowling Green. It was kind of just like they just they were getting us. Like it was 1-1 and it was 1v1 and they were winning.
Gave up 39 points in the first half to this Bowling Green team is not great.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's an exhibition. Who cares? I thought the defense was noticeably better in the second half, especially down the final 4 minutes of the game when they like really needed to separate a little bit.
See, I'm fine with that, but at the same time, even in the exhibition setting, the defense should never be a question.
Well,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to, and maybe it needs, and maybe it's a sign it needs to be a little bit more or something with this team. But like the defense and the rebounding, like I get we're gonna miss shots. Like that's kind of a miss. I expect that with this team.
yeah.
But yeah, there was it was definitely evident in the first half for sure.
And it's not like it was terrible defense because, like, again, box score reading 14 blocks. Cohen had five. Carson Cooper had three. Like, it sounds kind of crazy to come out here and be like, Cohen had 5 blocks. He was
Yeah.
bad
But when
defensively.
you're
He
watching
wasn't.
it though, like you and I both, and other people too, not just a you and I thing. I think other people noticed it.
Well, and I think part of the reason you had so many blocks was because guys were getting beat off the dribble every play. So,
Yeah.
like Bowling Green would get in there and try some shit and funnel, and maybe that's partially what we want defensively this year is like funnel guys to some
Yeah, but
shot
even
blockers.
that,
But
I feel like two or three of Cohen's blocks too were him realizing his guy had ran past him in transition, and he
yeah,
had to like snap into super athlete mode.
yeah, and look, it's one thing like Trey Ford. I thought was terrible defensively in this game. Kurtang was a little bit better, but we kind of expect that from Trey at least. We'll get to him and his offense in a minute. The more interesting part to me was it really did feel like it was Cohen and Fears that were the biggest perpetrators of the defensive issues last night. Like Jeremy Fears got crossed like four times.
That one where Campbell's in transition and he went like a little in and out right to left. I was like, damn.
Yeah, it was weird. And like Cohen again, it just felt like would almost ball watch and like even help side stuff. It's like there were so many times he's just like turn around watching and then it's like, oh shit, I have a chance for a block. Let me go.
It's
Like
like on defense for like portions of this game, it was like someone's controlling Cohen, and all of a sudden they sent him a signal like block shot, and then like his eyes just like like a robot, and then just goes into super athlete mode and just goes send somebody shit. Which, by the way, those blocks, it's still like a freak athlete. The blocks are nasty.
goaltend. One of them was a goaltend. The other four were nasty.
One of them was a goaltend, but respect to where he caught it, ref said, "All right, that's nasty.
Yeah, the ref was like, "It's an exhibition, dog. Let him have that one."
Let him have it."
Yeah, he's. I mean, we feel like we're gonna have to do this a lot. Like, what do you even say about Cohen's athleticism? And now that it's clear this is gonna be like a Cohen Carr team, it's not just Cohen Carr's like one of 11 guys. Like the loudest, most visible thing about Michigan State this year, whether or not he's the leading scorer or whatever it looks like, it's gonna be Cohen Carr. Like the identity of this team is going to be Cohen Carr, and that is gonna mean we're gonna come on here constantly and be like he looked like Zion tonight. Like at the same time, I do think there's an interesting conversation early because I feel like we were sort of sold or billed this offseason that we're going to see a new Cohen.
Hmm.
Now, I think it's reasonable to watch what we watched last night 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 blocks, and a steal in 31 minutes and say that is a new Cohen. We have not seen that production ever. We have never seen 4 assists from Cohen. It's his most productive he's ever been in a Michigan State uniform. At the same time, I think the pitch this offseason was it was going to be stylistically fundamentally different.
Hmm.
To me, it wasn't at all.
No.
To me, this was the exact Cohen we have seen. And that I'm not saying that's good or bad. In fact, I would probably argue it's good. If Cohen can be exactly what he has been and be this productive, that's a lot better to me than the pitch being like, oh, he's shooting threes now. Like he's a half court initiator that we like. I didn't see any of that. I saw transition, get out, run, dunk. His free throw shot was broken this game. Izzo said that hasn't been true in practice, but he was 3 for 8. He
Yeah.
didn't really look like he wanted to shoot. He was 0 for 1 from three. Um, Really, the only thing that felt new at all was the 4 assists. And I remember one of his assists
I
being
was gonna
like a
say
head
the only
turner.
one I remember is the middle of the zone one. He got it, and it looked like he was gonna jump it, and Kohler kind of dove down. That was a nice pass.
He had one great one.
Otherwise, I didn't really.
What were the other three? Like, when did he even get 4 assists in this game?
He probably honestly had some like swing pass. I mean, anytime you throw it to Trey Fort, you're in line for an assist because that boy going up.
I think we had the Breslin box score
You
keeper
think we
on
had to
the
go
A
back and
game in this
watch?
one. I did not notice Cohen Carr's passing in a way we haven't seen before.
But to your point too, like it was more so like not even seeing the opportunity of kind of what we were sold, right? Like I didn't see Cohen Carr like come off any like pin downs or anything like that, or have the opportunity to do anything in that mode. It was basically all transition or mostly transition.
And that's probably just they weren't running anything. I said the same thing in the Michigan exhibition, right?
They were Bowling Green also played hella zone.
Coaches don't want to run their stuff. So I don't think we have seen what it will for sure look like yet. But I guess if we're kind of going game by game right now, like, ooh, is Cohen a completely transformed player or not? I think the answer is no, stylistically. But also, he clearly doesn't need to be a different player to be really productive. He can be Michigan State's best player, being exactly what he has been, just in a bigger role with more attention to him from Izzo and the team.
I think it'll work too with if Michigan State's gonna do what they do. Jeremy Fears wants to get the ball off the rebound and run, and that works with Cohen.
Yes.
And
I really do want to see his rebounding numbers be better, though.
yeah, he's way too athletic to only have that many rebounds. Like that was part of the. I honestly, Cohen and I even put Carson Cooper in this mold as well. I think those guys need to rebound better. And now obviously stops will lead to rebounds, but I think those guys need to help out with rebounding more. Like Cohen is way too athletic to only have three defensive rebounds. And I
Cam
get it. I
Ward
think he's trying to run out and get out, but like at the same time, we need him to rebound.
Cam Ward cannot out rebound you in half the minutes.
Yeah.
That cannot happen to a junior Cohen Carr when you're the face of this team. And
Yep.
if it is going to happen consistently, you're going to be out rebounded by Bowling Green. Like
Right.
that's ultimately like stepping back broadly. The this game as a whole, to me, it was very much a Cohen Carr game. Like Michigan State shot like 31% from three or something. Um, they got out rebounded. The offense looked pretty great in transition. Like to me, it kind of was Cohen Carr's fingerprints all over this game in good and bad ways. And I think it'll be better in the season in a variety of ways. Part of it's probably just lackadaisicalness from him and Fears in an exhibition, but either way, the offensive production was pretty awesome, and I think it's a huge good thing for you guys that it doesn't look different. I would want Cohen to be like, I can get you 17 and 5 just being myself, not needing to
Mhm.
do completely mind bending new things. To
Right.
Fears next. He hit two threes. I'm convinced the kid's just like a gamer shooter
Hmm.
because it didn't look all that pretty.
No.
And we heard so much talk this summer of like his shot is broke in Moneyball in practice. And it's so Jeremy Fears to come out and go 2 for 4 from three in the exhibition. Willing shooter for sure. Like if they were going to go super under on Fears, he stood right up and made them in this game. 9 assists to 2 turnovers for him. I thought he was awesome. He was great leading the transition attack. Really, the only thing you can nitpick with Fears again for me was getting beat off the dribble consistently in this game by Bowling Green guards. But are you happy with the first look at Fears? Again, 31 minutes, I think, is huge for this team.
Yeah, I think you really said it all. I thought that, obviously individual defense could have been better from Fears in this game, but I'm not gonna complain about 12 points, 9 assists. The two turnovers I'm pretty sure came back to back in this game with him getting in the air on one pass and then him on an inbounds pass. But yeah, I thought that he showed a little bit more aggressiveness to the rim. Obviously, he did the Fears thing. Like there was a lot of I want to seek out contact and get to the free throw line. But yeah, I think that he did the Jeremy Fears thing for me, and I think that's what I need. And him playing 31 minutes, I think is good to see. I did think there was a little bit more aggression as far as going to the basket and actually looking to score too as well. And the jumper still looks funky. It really does. But if it's gonna go in, then who really cares?
I think he's just a gamer. I think he can shoot pretty well from three this year, honestly, and I like the volume from him. If like this team needs, especially if Cohen's going to play 31 minutes, this team needs everybody else to be shooting threats. Dion, you okay? You look a little sweaty.
So every August, September, my air conditioning breaks, and there's just nothing I can do about it.
Dude, that's tough. Out in California too. Like, I mean, what is it, like 80 degrees still there today?
Today's gonna be like 85, 90, but like peak summer, it gets like 110. My AC just doesn't ever hold up.
I mean, it sounds like it's a bummer that you can't take advantage of Duncan Mechanical Solutions because Duncan Mechanical Solutions is an HVAC company based in Angola, servicing the tri-state area, bringing commercial quality to the residential world with excellent customer service. You heard us talk about Duncan Mechanical last summer. If you need heating or air conditioning, kitchen or bath remodeling, or all of the above, Duncan Mechanical is the place to go in the Midwest. Go to DuncanMechanicalSolutions.com to take advantage and make sure you don't wind up like Dion.
Right.
So, I like to me, great early sign for Fears. Great early sign for Fears that he shot 4 threes and made two of them. Yeah, we know he's one of the best passers in the country. 9 assists, 2 turnovers. Thought he got wherever he wanted. Him and Cohen are just a match made in heaven in transition. We know that. By far, the biggest thing with both Cohen and Fears to me is just the minutes. Like it's pretty clear at this point. Izzo wants this team to be those guys as much as possible. We haven't seen that on a Michigan State team in a while. And I think it bodes really well because on the flip side of this, flip side correlation,
Mm.
I don't know what you have on the bench this year.
Yeah.
Like
Well, I
I think
think
Trey Fort's a Big Ten player,
yeah.
but everything else is a little iffy. Do you want to pivot to that yet, or
Yeah,
oh,
I think it's at the point to pivot. Oh, you got.
Sorry, I had one more thing on Fears and Cohen. Somebody in the Discord said, I think Spartan Dog 101 said this.
Oh God,
There's a theory on why they're playing 31 minutes in an exhibition game.
they have to. Why?
They didn't Trey Holloman. They both have another year where they could Trey Holloman. Is there is there any thought to the idea of like, you know what, Cohen, Jeremy, here's your reward. You signed up for this again. You're going to play 35 minutes this year. Starting with, because let's be clear, 31 in an exhibition game is objectively crazy. Like
Yeah,
for especially for a Tom Izzo team.
yeah, it
Like
is. I don't hate that theory, but also at the same time, we need those. I mean, look, it was a. I get how the end score. Like Bowling Green was never out of this basketball game
it's true. Maybe it was
ever.
just we wanted to win the game.
Yeah. No, I don't think Izzo would kill himself to win an exhibition game against Bowling Green. Probably a sicko part of him wanted to lose this game, to be honest with you. But he didn't approach it like that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's I'm a working operating theory for me right now is part of the reason we're going to see 30 plus minutes from Fears and Cohen this year is just here you guys go. You came back. This is your reward.
I'm fine with that too, for what it's worth.
It would be great. I think that's
Yeah.
phenomenal program managing if that's what you do. Okay, to the bench. Trey,
Good transition though, because here's my first point. Maybe last time I'll say this. Nah, it ain't gonna be the last. First takeaway, Jigathon would have been great on this team for what it's worth.
he made a mistake after watching this because he's not even guaranteed to start at NC State from what we're hearing right now.
Right. You see how Fears and Kohler and Cohen and them played 30? There's 30 available for Trey Holloman on this team.
He would have played 30 at the two and had the ball a lot and possibly been a leading scorer on this team.
Hmm.
And he was like, no thanks. And now he might not have that role at NC State. That's not to say NC State has a better roster than Michigan State. It's just clearly this team is still looking for answers at the two. Um, yeah, he's going to regret that. I really believe he's going to regret that. Let's talk what we did see at the two. Trey Fort came off the bench. I don't think everyone expected that when Trey Fort was the portal acquisition that he was. With that said, Kurtang's also a great prospect. Like there's reason to believe Kerr's going to end up being a really good Michigan State player. In this game, Kurtang 22 minutes, 10 shot attempts, 1 for 4 from three, 7 points, 1 assist, 1 turnover. Trey Fort in 16 minutes, 3 for 7 from the floor, but 3 for 5 from three. Thought he was clearly the most dynamic shooting threat on this team. Didn't really rebound, only 1 rebound in 16 minutes, 1 assist to 0 turnovers for Fort. I think it's pretty clear both these guys, given what the rest of the roster is, like if you're trying to fit in between Fears, Carr, Kohler, whoever's playing the two is just going to gun threes and be a catch and shoot threat. I think that's both these guys' strengths, and that's how this team is going to work. Neither one of these guys are coming in to kind of get the ball and be a secondary ball handler. Like it's pretty clear. I don't think Kurtang can do that. And I think if Trey Fort gets the ball, he's thinking shoot every time. So where are you at with what you've seen from the two shooting guards? Do you think Kurtang is the appropriate starter right now? And what's the outlook going forward?
Um, it's the two spots going to be. I think it was a massive question coming into this year, and I think it's still a massive question after Exhibition One. Obviously, Trey Ford going 3 for 5 from three. I think is something that this team needs. And at the same time, I think you need to realize when you play Trey Ford, you're getting nothing else. You're just not gonna get much else. And I'm not saying you're gonna get that much crazy else from Kurtang, but Kurtang did do some other things besides shooting the basketball. Now, on the flip side of that, I need some help, G, because I don't know if I understand Kurtang.
What do you mean?
I just well, one, it seems like he's more confident shooting in the mid range than he is from three, even though Izzo said he's the best shooter on the team. I also think that just the way I don't know, the way he plays, I just find myself like he's making the wrong play sometimes.
I see that.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like I want, at least with Trey Ford, you put him in there and he's just gonna shoot, right? I just found myself when I was watching Kerr, I was like, why that? Why that at that moment? Why are you doing this? Um, he did end up hitting one three. The other threes weren't close. There was one that like hit the side of the backboard from like the top of the key. I don't know what happened on that one. But yeah, I don't know. I think the two spot is still gonna be a massive question this year.
So here's my read on trying to verbalize what you're alluding to. He had that one play where Fears kicked it up to him in transition. He had basically like a catch and shoot or one dribble pull up three in transition that was wide open. They didn't even get out and guard him. And instead he like over dribbled, dribbled two steps inside of the 3 point line, stepped back, picked up his dribble, and then was like, oh shit, they're not guarding me still. Let me shoot a midi.
Yeah.
And he made it. But you're
When
watching
he
that.
when he shot it, I was like, what is that?
Well, you're watching it play out, just like what was the read on that? And that's, I guess, my current interpretation. Again, very small sample size. This is like the first time we've seen Kurtang in a real basketball game. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was just some jitters, some nerves, or something. This is my read. I think his processing in the middle of a play is very slow.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that's going to change. I remember feeling like this in limited opportunities last year. It's like he's in with the walk ons. He's kind of, I feel like he's reading the plays at the level of a walk on.
Hmm.
That's a little scary. Now, he still has like the talent of like a 5 star. Like, I think the jump shot is 5 star talent for jump shot. But like, it's going to sound crazy because he's not ever going to be this diabolically bad. And in this game, he finished with 7 points and 4 rebounds. He contributed. Um, just again, processing basketball instincts wise, feel like there's a little bit of Xavier Booker in a shooting
I
guard.
I was wondering if you were gonna
It's
say
like
that.
it's like he's the Xavier Booker of Jace Richardson's. And it's like, okay, even if the jumper's good, what do we do if you make the wrong read every time? You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And I maybe he'll just get more comfortable with it. I will say this: I thought Fort, even though Fort took 3 less shots than Tang in this game, I thought he was way more decisive and like making the right play every time. So, but Fort clearly is just so limited defensively. Like they're not lying about his
Yeah.
defense.
Didn't Izzo say something about not being able to guard his grandma?
Yeah,
He might be right.
right. So
Yeah.
it to me like Tang's clearly the better defender. Ford, I think, is clearly the better offensive player, and they're both going to play like a minute share. I think.
Yeah. I mean, right now you got to choose who's your starting two, or who gets the bulk of the two guard minutes.
I think they're hoping it's Trey Ford by the end of the year,
Hmm.
but I don't know if it will be because his defense is so bad, man.
Yes, it's really bad, and especially after seeing what that team did defensively in the first game. Like adding a negative defender is not what we need.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like you added together 38 minutes, 16 points from the two spot, 4 for 9 from three between the two of them. Like I think we're gonna do that a lot game to game this year. It might not ever be sexy. Neither one of them is gonna like have an awesome individual performance much, but like if you can get 16 points and 4 made threes in 38 minutes from those two, I think you're ecstatic every single game.
Yeah, yeah, I feel that way.
What about the other guys off the bench, the two freshmen? Ward was all over the place on the boards. Like I thought he looked great there. He had 2 assists. He also had 3 turnovers, most turnovers out of any Michigan State player in this game. He had a block. It was a loud 17 minutes from Ward, a block and a steal. Jordan Scott really empty minutes in his
Mhm.
6 minutes. So I don't know. Do you think Izzo did say he wanted to get Scott more minutes or should have? What are you anticipating for these two freshmen this year?
So I think obviously you saw the moments of Cam Ward, what he can bring. Like in that 17 minutes for him to pull down those 6 boards. Obviously he had the most of the turnovers and things like that, but he's just a high energy, very, our kind of guy player. And I think that, Izzo's gonna have to find a way to get him his minutes. Outside of Trey Fort, just looking at the bench as a whole. Cam Ward was probably the next most impressive person. Now that speaks to how bad I think this bench might be. Now, I did see some people talk about Ugochukwu, have some good moments, and I think he's just a limited player offensively for what it's like. I think that he is he's a more athletic but a worse player than Fierce, kind of. Like he had the 4 assists in this game. He did attempt three-pointers. None of them went in. Had made one shot from the field, but yeah, I just think that the bulk of the stuff from this team is it's not going to be a depth thing this year with this team. I just think this team has zero depth.
Which is going to be so jarringly different from last year, but I think you could argue is like what you want. I
I'm
still
fine.
don't.
Listen, I'm fine with it because I'm willing to play the best guys and live with the results of that.
Right.
Instead of like, we're playing everybody 20 minutes and those results.
I think you want there to be separation between your best players and your eighth best player. Last year was like an anomaly special season. I'm sure we will all remember it really fondly forever, but you can't replicate that every year. And if there was one broad takeaway, I don't really have too much judgment, good or bad, on Ward, Scott. Ugachukwu, I have some preconceived notions about him as a player that are hard for me to shake when I watch him. I don't think he's a Big Ten level player.
I don't either.
So it's hard for me to watch anything he did in this game and not already carry that
Well,
connotation.
I was the reason I was saying that is because I saw talk about like, oh, good divine minutes, and I was like, where? I didn't see those.
Yeah, I honestly, if there's one guy off the bench other than Fort, who I thought was like living up to his billing as a shooter, I thought McCulloch gave you good minutes that I didn't necessarily expect, like productive 6 and 5 in 11 minutes. I really liked his little short roll floater finish that he had at the end of the shot clock. Like he was put in a tough spot. I think it was Ward who made the assist to him on that, and like that was he clearly has some skill to him. He's going to get better. He's a developmental guy, but I think he's good enough to play pretty clearly as a backup big for this team. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be weird. It's just such a contrast from last year where it felt like, you knew this team was going to wear you down, win the final 8 minutes because they had 11 guys. What's the number of guys this year? Is it 6 guys? I mean, obviously you're going to play 9 guys still, but like when I say guys, like last year's team had guys.
I'd say 7 comfortably, not even comfortably, 7, 8 if you want to stretch it. I say 7.
And 7 includes Ward and Trey Fort
Yes.
and Kurtang
Yeah.
and Carson Cooper.
Yep.
Okay.
Like playable, like those are the guys I think should play.
Well, I think you're going to play more than that anyway. You're going to play Divine. I think Jordan Scott's
Were
got
you
good
asking me a different
chances.
question? Like as far as like
I'm going
guys?
after like who are you getting quality minutes from?
Oh, 3 guys.
Which is last year it felt like you had 11 guys you were getting
Yeah,
quality.
it's 3.
And it'll be
Spears,
Cooper too. I thought Cooper did good stuff, but
Cooper's cool.
at least until the shooting guard spot is like figured out a little more, it does. I don't know. It felt like a very new Michigan State team. Just a lot of new faces, young guys, and maybe that should have been obvious to me coming in, but like I don't know. What, especially when the bench guys were in, I was just like, this doesn't feel like a Michigan State team right now.
Yeah, no, you saw like stuff pop last year when guys came off the bench. It just didn't really happen with these guys.
Yeah. Fort and
Uh,
McCulloch.
what'd you say?
Fort and McCulloch. Those
Yeah.
those guys gave good minutes.
The one other thing I want to talk about the half court offense stuff, and um, I saw, and this is not me even. I'm not. This is not like a call out situation or anything like that because I was actually talking to DK about it. But I saw DK online talking about, we didn't know who was the half court creator at this time last year, and it ended up being Jace. And he kind of took the approach of like, oh, we're gonna wait to see who it's gonna be with this year's team. And I kind of like pushed back on it because even thinking back to the exhibition in the early games when like we would watch Jace, you would even watch him in like the 10 minutes he was getting. And we were like, well, that guy needs to play more. That guy can do the half court creation stuff. I don't think that there's anybody on this team that will step into that role or can do that.
Might be Fort, or it might just be you run more stuff to get Fort shots.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know who's. I guess I just don't know who's the go-to guy in the half court.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe I'm wrong. I have not talked to DK in like months at this point, so
Hmm,
I don't know. I would assume DK would say it's Cohen Carr. I don't feel like I loved the half court Cohen Carr in this game.
I
I
did.
maybe it'll change, but again, maybe you don't. I still don't think you need Cohen in the half court. Like, I don't really buy into that vision of like this team will be awesome if Cohen is doing stuff in the half court. To me, it's
Hmm,
Fears in the half court. It's Cohen in transition. You've got Jackson Kohler as like a blanket safety valve in the half court. Just throw it to him and let him operate. I think they could have done that more in this game than they did. I would expect they do against quality opponents. And again, Cohen was awesome in this game without doing half court stuff. I think
right,
that's kind of where I'm currently at. If it changes, great, but it doesn't need to, I don't think, to be solid.
right. I just don't think this State team has a go-to guy, and I think there's been good teams without go-to guys. I think it also limits your ceiling if you don't have a go-to guy.
That's a tough phrase because like I think Cohen is the go-to guy. It just like it's like if Brandon Dawson's your go-to guy. You're not giving him the ball and being like create a play for us.
So I guess not saying like not having a go-to. I guess the person who is your go-to guy can limit your ceiling.
Sure.
And if Cohen Carr is our go-to guy, it's just I think it's I don't know, it's gonna be I don't know how that ends up looking because I think that he got all of his buckets in transition and slashing, which I'm fine with. I don't give a damn if half court shots are his best offense and he just launches 9 of those a game. Just figure it out, but it is what it is.
I mean, I think Fears being who he is makes it okay that Cohen is more limited in the half court because Fears can get you 9 assists to 2 turnovers and have the ball in the half court every play.
Hmm.
Like that's I think those two actually pair really well together. And again, you might want Fears to score a little more. Izzo had some comments after this. We need him to score. He shot 4 threes and hit 2 of them. Like that, I think that can work. If this is the Jeremy Fears you get, I think it works until we start to see some friction there, I think you're fine. Big picture, 9 point win over Bowling Green. You had
Bad.
all your available guys other than Caleb Glenn. I came on here after Michigan lost to Cincinnati, and I was like, I'm really not that worried about it. We were missing our starting front court. I'm not telling any Michigan State fans they should be worried about a 9 point win. I don't think you should be, but I also feel like you might be. Am I wrong on that?
I mean, it's a 9 point win over Bowling Green.
Bowling Green, I don't know much about Bowling Green. Towns looked crazy in this game.
Yeah.
You should be able to keep him. Actually, give him Caleb Glenn's scholarship right now.
I miss Caleb Glenn. I'll say that.
He would have been fun on this team.
He would have been real fun on this team. And honestly, like great that if we get him back and he's what he can be next year, he'd be fun. But like, god damn, we need that dude.
Yeah,
But I mean, look, I think that this game was very exhibition-y. Okay, like the zone was weird. There's weird stuff going on, but I'm not gonna come on here and be like this game made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. We didn't pull away from Bowling Green. I don't
yeah,
care if everything was going bad. I don't care if guys weren't like we didn't pull away from Bowling Green. We got out rebounded by Bowling Green, and we had trouble checking Bowling Green.
right.
That's not good. Now, you know, if for the folks that want to throw it away and be like, all right, let's see what we look like against UConn. We play like this against UConn. I think UConn beats us by 20.
Yeah, I think guys will be a little more engaged
Oh,
defensively against
I
UConn.
hope they are.
I think Fears and Cohen will be a little more engaged defensively against UConn.
Yeah.
That's all I'll
But
say.
I want
I
to
wouldn't worry.
I want to stay consistent in how I view these games. It's bad. Losing, I'm not losing, sorry. Being in a game with Bowling Green is bad.
All right, I mean this genuinely. I'm not worried about it at all. You scored 48 in the first half. That was sweet. And we're like, whoa, what's the offensive identity? He had 48 in the first half. Like, I think this is a good sign. Michigan State's going to be right in the mix based on Fears and Cohen and Kohler, and good sign that they're playing big minutes early.